In this video, we're going to be talking about why most roofing businesses stay small and how to break through. The first part of the video, we're going to go through your guys' obstacles that you guys face on a day-to-day basis. And then the second part, I'm going to be giving you guys the solutions on how to fix these obstacles and grow the company to its biggest potential. Number one is the growth plateau trap, right? Most roofers, what I've realized is they get stuck at $500 to $1 million in revenue a year, right? And that mostly comes down to the owner wearing every hat, right? He's in sales, he's the operations manager, he manages the crew, he's the admins, he does the day-to-day tasks. And in business, the real way to grow a company, the way every company is grown in the world, is by hiring employees and outsourcing. Because without systems or help, growth hits a wall, right? Because it all depends on you. You know, if you're having a bad day or one day you cannot go to work, that's going to have an outcome on the amount of revenue that you're going to have. But if you have a sales team, right? If you have admins, if you have a personal assistant that does your day-to-day tasks, you can focus on thinking how to grow the company, right? And what you guys can better on instead of doing the day-to-day tasks, coming home extremely tired, right? And not having the brain power to think on, okay, how do I grow? Because I've been stuck in this position for years now, you know? And there's a quote, right? If you're doing everything, you can't grow. I want you guys to keep that in mind. There are four main bottlenecks that I see that keeps roofing businesses small. The first of the four is really the hiring bottleneck, as I like to call it, right? One thing that I see with most roofing companies that are not growing as they should is they can't find or keep good crews. There's an over reliance on like one, two subcontractors, and if they don't work out, like you don't know where to go. And you guys have no hiring and training systems in place, right? For any type of company that wants to grow, training and hiring systems are crucial, right? Because that's going to save you X amount of time, or instead of having to train every single new employee that comes through, you have one training system and you're good. Like you never have to train anyone else again. They just watch whatever the training course talks about and boom, they're informed and you can get them on the field. And another one that's super important, I see that most roofing companies don't have systems or processes, right? No SOPs for installs, sales, admin. Again, this goes back to having SOPs are just videos you record and trainings you record for whenever you hire someone or anyone has a question. Instead of having to ask you, you get on a call, explain it to them, or explain it in person. They have a video to watch that explains them what needs to be answered, right? That just saves time. And you only have to film it once and you have it solved. You can get that question asked to you by every sales rep that you hire into your company, and you just have to send the video and it answers all of them. You never have to do it again. Another one is just no CRMs or tech stack, right? Like it is 2025. There is a lot easier ways to run a business than writing it on pen and paper. You know, you could use CRMs just to track even your employees' conversions, how many hours your employees are working. You can track everything nowadays. You know, these big companies, they track even the mouse movement of their employees to make sure they're not using the same mouse movement and they're just using a fake mover, you know. So there's things that if you watch and you kind of just look on videos like, hey, roofing CRMs, which I'm going to give you guys a bit in a couple, but you guys can Google and YouTube everything. What is the best CRM for XYZ? Or even easier, ask ChatGPT. It's gonna give you exactly what you need. And another one that I really see happen all the time is that the owner keeps everything in their head initially, right? Like the only time real companies start growing when the owner, which is you in this case, starts taking his ideas from his head and his brain and implements it and shares it with the entire team. A company, your employees have to, all of them have the same vision of you, right? And if they don't, find someone else that has. And this one is super obvious, you know, lead generation. It's very inconsistent for most roofing companies, right? In general, like just construction companies out there. You know, you guys only rely on referrals or storm jobs, and that's not really the way to grow a company, right? Maybe if you're just a storm chaser, okay. Even if you're getting a decent amount of referrals, listen, referrals should only be like gifts, you know what I mean? That's the way I see it. A referral, when I get a referral, it's like, okay, boom, you know, that's just something added on. But I never want it to be my main source of income. Because if you're only relying on referrals, let's say for whatever reason there's a slow season, you get nothing, but if you get in front of homeowners consistently, you're going to have more buyers, right? More homeowners buying your service. Just obviously, the more people that see your company and know about your company, the more people you're going to get interested, right? Because no marketing strategy equals no predictability. That's the way I see it. And marketing doesn't have to be paid, right? Or anything. For example, the next point is afraid to invest into paid advertising. That's a no-brainer in my opinion for every business that wants to grow. Like no business has ever grown with no advertisement money. Like you need to advertise yourself out there. And in 2025 even more because everyone's on their phone. If they don't see you somewhere before, they're not going to go with you because now in 2025, which is sad, I don't really like it either, but if people don't see you on social media, they don't think you're the real deal, and it's a bit sketchy. But doesn't mean marketing that you have to pay for something, right? That's my point. You guys could do just flyers, hang them out, go do like something insane, like not even insane, like paint your truck pink, you know what I mean? And have the logo of your company or make it rainbow so whenever you're going anywhere, like there's eyes that read your company name and what you do. So just think outside the box, but market your company. That's the most important thing. That's what I want to get to with this point, right? And yeah. And last but not least, from the four is time management chaos, right? Most owners are always putting out fires. There's not enough time to work on the business because they're working in the business. So again, this goes back to hiring and delegating, right? If there's no delegation structure, like it says on the last point here, is it's all gonna come back like onto you. And you as a business owner don't want that. You only want the important things to be mentioned to you. You only want to be thinking about important stuff, right? About the day-to-day work that you're used to doing every single day. Outsource that, like things that are going to be the same. For example, picking up calls, doing XYZ. Instead of you having to manage on the crew, hire someone that manages the crew for you. You know what I mean? So you don't spend time driving there, spending 2-3 hours on a job site. These things are going to help, and since you're going to have more time to think, I swear, thoughts create everything. Thoughts create energy, and energy attracts whatever you believe in and want to happen in life. So you need to have the energy to think about how to grow your company and visualize it. Well, I'm going to give you guys steps on how to overcome these bottlenecks and what you can do to implement a system that will grow your company, right? Step one is replace yourself in key roles, right? For sales, you're going to hire and train a closer. Admin work, you're going to either outsource that to someone you know or hire office help. Must. It's going to help improve your business straight away, right? And then let's say for production, get an assigned foreman or project manager, right? So you don't have to be on the job site at all times. These three small things are going to change everything, right? This is going to be step one. And for step two, really, this is crucial, is build a lead generation machine, right? You need to have a system that gets you in front of homeowners at all times and you're getting, interested homeowners for your service as much as possible. You could do this by investing into Google local ads, SEO. Most important, and this is free, right? This is free because investing in Google and SEO, that costs money, pay traffic, Facebook, LSAs, all that costs money, right? But you can build a brand through reviews and content, right? Put the content from before and afters of the roofs, before and after of the house, before and after of whatever service you're providing, right? Put a lot of content out there on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and after every service you do, ask the homeowner for a Google review. That's going to help you out so much. And that's completely for free. You're doing the work anyways. Just set up a camera, film it, upload it, takes 10 minutes, you know what I mean? A bit of editing, it's not going to take a lot of time. And then boom, ask for reviews. That's what's going to help you the most. If you have a million review, okay, that's too much. If you have 300 reviews, right? 5 out of 5 star reviews saying that your service is amazing, every person that is going to look for a roofer is going to go for you because they know that you're trustworthy, you're going to give quality, and the 300 people were happy with the amount of money you charge them. That's how homeowners brain thinks, right? And you have to adapt to that and use it as an advantage. Step three is to systemize operations, right? These are the tools that I told you in the CRMs you guys can use, like Job Nimbus, Company Cam, Eagles View. These are all systems and CRMs that are going to help delegate work, right? Instead of having to show up pull out a drone, give the estimate, or whatever way you do it, right? To give them an estimate and give them the number of what the project's going to cost. You guys do that because you guys are not getting a lot of homeowners. If you would be getting in front of, if you'd be getting quotes to give out like 15 estimates, 20, 30 estimates a week, I guarantee you would invest in, for example, Eaglesview, right? To give them the quote without showing up. But because you guys have so little homeowners that are interested in your service and they go with you guys, only referrals and stuff, you guys don't see the value in investing in like Eaglesview or Job Nimbus, right? So keep that in mind. You know what I mean? If you do everything else, you're going to start adding these tools. The reason you don't think these tools are worth it is because you're not getting in front of enough homeowners. Because every company that I work with that gets in front of homeowners, they use tools, they use CRMs. There's not a roofing company I work with that makes over $5 million a year in revenue that does not use CRMs, for you guys to know. I want you guys to document SOPs for sales productions, follow-ups, right? For your sales reps to know, okay, if I didn't close this guy, what can I do to get him back and to close, right? Super simple. Like just have SOPs and a game plan for everything. For whatever, obviously it's gonna take work. Like you are going to have to put in the work. If you're not willing to put in the work, you're not gonna grow your company, and I don't feel sorry for you because you don't deserve it. The reward is given to winners. Winners are people that put in the work, even if they failed once. You know the difference between a winner and a loser? A winner is just a loser that tried it again. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Like maybe you guys tried something in the past and it didn't work out. Doesn't mean you give up. It means you go ahead, learn from your mistakes, and go again. You know? And the easiest one, which costs barely any money, you could get, there's AIs out there that do it for cents, is automate communication, like text emails as an example. There's AIs that will send personalized, so with the name of the homeowner or the employee you want to text or XYZ, right? For cents. So use it. Automate communication. So while you're on the roof, let's say you don't pick up a phone call, you have the homeowner get sent a email or a text or both, which is ideal. And then they feel like, okay, you're actually on it, you're gonna get on a call with them, you're not ignoring them, you're just busy at the moment, right? And let's say you have office help. That wouldn't happen because your office is gonna take all the calls, right? So think. I want you guys to think in this video. I want you guys to be like, okay, this actually makes sense. I need to grow. And if I invest into growth and all these things happen, it's going to fall in place, because you're going to close more deals automatically if you hire office help. You're not never going to miss a phone call again. If someone calls, your team is going to pick up within 30 seconds because that's their job. You know what I mean? If you have a project manager, you're not spending 3 hours managing the crew, checking up on them, seeing if they're actually doing the work correctly. Hire someone that does it. You guys to think outside the box because if you're not investing into your company, nothing's going to happen, right? Okay, you might grow a bit by year, but you're not going to hit an exponential growth. If you don't want an exponential growth and you're happy, like, good for you, man. This video is for people that want to grow. And step 4 is the last one, but this is crucial and doesn't this costs 0 money. Is track key metrics weekly, right? How many leads am I getting every day? How many appointments have I set from all the leads that came in? How many sales closed? Only with these 3, you're gonna know, okay, if I get 30 leads, I'll usually set 18 appointments, and out of those 18 appointments, I close 4 jobs, just to put out numbers. But now you know you need 30 leads to get 4 jobs, right? Also track, profit per job, per crew, for you as a business owner to have everything on paper, and for you to, on paper, for me, I mean something that you can look at, so it's not just in your brain, so you can look at it. Also, just track the customer satisfaction and reviews, right? So you can share that with your crew. Be like, hey, for example, when you guys treat the homeowner like this and do the job like this, these homeowners like it. These are the reviews they give us. If you guys don't put in a lot of effort and kind of, don't clean up straight away, take a bit more time, these are the reviews that the homeowner gives us, right? So share shit with your team and track it. This is a bonus that I want to just give you guys, right? Just tactical moves to start scaling. I'm going to fire through this, but keep this in mind. This is crucial. If you guys follow this, you're going to grow your company 100%. Hire a sales rep and double your selling power. Create a 3-day onboarding for new crews and team members so you don't have to train them and waste time on that anymore ever again. Dedicate 5 to 10% or as much as you comfortable with of revenue to marketing, right? You need to invest into your business to grow. It's that simple. There's no other way. And last but not least, run weekly meetings, right? Talk to your team about the goals, the wins, the problems, about everything you can talk to, so you create a community, right? Not just employees. You want them to want to work at the business, to be happy to work in the business. That's what you want your employees to feel. If they feel that, you as a business owner will get rewarded. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video, which is leadership and mindset shift. You watching this video, you're the owner of your company. That should be your baby. So you need to stop thinking like a roofer and start thinking like a CEO. The only thing that's going to make your life better financially is you growing the business. With that, you can send your kids to the best schools, best education, maybe live in a better house, or if you're happy with whatever, invest in whatever you love. You know, if you're making more money, you're going to be able to have more freedom. More freedom, you're going to have to work less because you can outsource, you can delegate, you know, but boom, life is just easier if you're making money, right? And you're watching this video because you want to make more money, right? So just build a culture that people want to be a part of, invest in people and processes, not just tools. To scale, you really just need simplicity, clarity, and leadership in your business. If you have those 3 points, you're going to grow. So if you like watching this video and you want to join a free community of roofers that are actively investing in growing the roofing company, click the link below, and I'll see you next time.